Just days after millions of fans were left wondering where Jin of BTS vanished to after his emotionally charged final concert in Amsterdam, a new twist has emerged. Jin's disappearance might not have been a surprise at all, at least not to HYBE's founder, Si-hyuk. While the internet was filled with panic, wild theories, and conspiracy threads about Jin being overworked or walking away from the company, insiders are now claiming that Jin's post-tour silence and absence were meticulously planned and approved by HYBE long before the tour even began. According to a well-placed source close to the European leg of the Jin Seokjin EP tour, Jin had already secured a full digital detox and private vacation plan with Si-hyuk back in April 2025. It wasn't supposed to look like he vanished, the source told Seoul Daily Whisper, but Jin wanted to disappear quietly. No paparazzi, no drama, just peace. He asked the company to stay quiet, even if fans started panicking. If true, this revelation turns the entire disappearance narrative on its head. Jin, who was visibly emotional during his final bow in Amsterdam, may not have been crushed or angry, but simply ready to rest, and Si-hyuk, despite public silence, may have been respecting Jin's wishes all along. However, this newfound information only raises more questions. Why didn't HYBE say anything? Why let millions of fans worry themselves sick, spinning theories of burnout or conflict? Some netizens argue that even if the intention was privacy, complete silence was irresponsible and emotionally cruel to the fanbase. He could have just said he was okay, wrote one army on X, formerly Twitter. One photo, one message. We didn't need to know where, just that he was okay. Others, however, defended the decision. He's a human, not a content machine. Let the man rest without being dissected. Meanwhile, Si-hyuk's name remains in the spotlight not for scandal, but for withholding the truth. In public appearances, he has continued to sidestep any mention of Jin's whereabouts, fueling frustration among fans who now feel played and emotionally manipulated by the company's PR silence. Still, those who follow Jin's career closely say this move fits his personality. He's always been someone who values sincerity over spectacle, said a music journalist who covered the tour. He didn't want a vacation announcement. He didn't want media attention. He just wanted to sleep, eat, hike, and breathe. Rumors are now swirling that Jin may be tucked away in a quiet countryside estate in Austria, or possibly on a private island in the Mediterranean. But the truth is, no one really knows. And that's exactly how Jin wanted it. As of now, HYBE has declined to comment. Jin remains silent. And ARMY, they're torn between heartbreak and relief. Because maybe, just maybe, disappearing was the most Jin thing he could ever do. The world might be spinning as usual, but for millions of ARMYs, time stood still the moment Jin stepped off that Amsterdam stage and vanished. No encore post, no thank you message. Just a long, quiet bow, then darkness. But as the dust settles and whispers evolve into confirmations, the shock is beginning to transform into something even more powerful: understanding. For those who followed Jin Seokjin from his earliest trainee days through the chaos of superstardom, this vanishing act is not abandonment. It's a long overdue act of self-preservation. After all, this is the man who once said in a 2021 interview that the happiest version of me is somewhere with no schedule, no spotlight, just trees and silence. Now, fans believe that version of Jin is finally real. It's not the mystery that hurts anymore, it's the realization that he needed to disappear in order to heal. And more painfully, the understanding that he might have been holding back that need for months, maybe years. While some casual observers initially accused HYBE of negligence, a growing number of ARMYs are now turning their eyes to a deeper truth. Si-hyuk may have been protecting Jin in the only way Jin would allow, by saying nothing. Not out of malice, but out of respect. Yet, not everyone agrees with that justification. "This silence broke us," tweeted one Indonesian ARMY. "We were refreshing Weverse every 10 seconds, crying, thinking something terrible had happened. That's not respect, that's emotional chaos." The tweet gathered over 800K likes in just 24 hours, triggering a massive debate between fans who feel betrayed by silence and those who insist privacy comes first. At the center of this storm is Si-hyuk, once hailed as the visionary protector of BTS, now viewed with skepticism by a segment of the fandom. The truth? He may have done exactly what Jin asked him to do. Say nothing, do nothing, just let him disappear. But in doing so, he also let the world believe the worst, and that damage may take longer to repair than any tour exhaustion. The silence might have been contractual, it might have been emotional, but it was also strategic. Hype stocks dipped briefly when rumors of Jin's disappearance broke out. Then they rebounded once whispers of vacation began trending. Crisis managed, profit intact, but at what cost? Some insiders now claim Jin's retreat location changes every week. A private wellness facility in southern France, a remote lakeside house in Iceland, a luxury mountain villa in New Zealand. He's unreachable, untraceable, and above all, unbothered. No managers, no staff, no Weverse notifications. Just fresh air, books, and the ability to sleep without setting an alarm. Fans are clinging to unconfirmed glimpses, blurry figures in remote villages, cafe owners in Geneva who think they saw someone who looked like Jin. But Jin, for once, has become the only person who doesn't owe anyone an answer. And maybe that's the loudest message of all. Because after years of being the perfect performer, the older brother, the worldwide handsome face of a billion-dollar brand, Jin has finally chosen to be something else, just Seokjin. The question now shifts, not where is Jin, but rather when, if ever, will he want to return. Si-hyuk's silence might have spared Jin from the noise, but it's also spotlighted a harsh truth about the entertainment machine. Even escape requires permission. And now that he's escaped, no one dares call him back. Not even Si-hyuk. Just when the story of Jin's secret vacation seemed to be reaching its final emotional note, a new and unexpected figure quietly steps into the spotlight. Jungkook. Why? Because according to fans, he might be the only person who knows where Jin is. Over the past 48 hours, eagle-eyed armies have noticed a pattern, a trail of seemingly innocent photos, subtle Instagram hints, and vanishing appearances from Jungkook's schedule. He had planned promotions, interviews, and pre-recorded content lined up. But suddenly, nothing. No appearances, no updates, no sightings. And here's the eerie twist. Jungkook's silence began right after Jin's final concert in Amsterdam. Coincidence? Or something much deeper? Fans now believe the youngest and oldest member of BTS might have planned this escape together. Not as a rebellion, not as a scandal, but as a quiet act of healing, a retreat for two souls who have carried the weight of global fame for far too long. One anonymous industry insider added fuel to the fire by claiming, they weren't just bandmates, they were family. Jungkook saw how tired Jin was. He probably helped him vanish. If anyone could protect Jin's location, it's him. Some fans recall Jin once calling Jungkook, "My little brother, I would do anything to protect," and now speculate that the sentiment is mutual. From booking remote hideaways to managing Jin's absence from the press, Jungkook may be serving as a shield, a barrier between his young and the world that refuses to let him rest. Others point to a more emotional motive. Jungkook, still grieving from recent emotional challenges and yearning for the peace Jin now seeks, may have joined his young in silent solidarity, choosing to temporarily disappear as well. Not for rebellion, but for renewal. But still, the mystery deepens. If Si-hyuk knew Jin was leaving, did he also approve Jungkook's vanishing act? Is this the beginning of something bigger, a silent protest against the industry's brutal pace? Or is it simply the quietest expression of love and loyalty between two brothers who've been through everything together? And most unsettling of all, what if they don't plan on coming back anytime soon? For now, the only certainty is that both Jin and Jungkook are out of reach. No photos, no live streams, no marketing, just silence. And in that silence, fans are left clinging to hope, hoping they're safe, hoping they're smiling, hoping that for once, their idols aren't performing but living. Because maybe this isn't just a story about disappearance. Maybe this is a story about finally being found.